Hi everyone, and welcome back to YouTube. Because YouTube was going to be on Wednesday, and then this week has been crazy. So let me actually just talk stream logistics for a second. So what's been going on is work is picking up, which is good, but is also, it kind of, so apologies for Wednesday. So this week, obviously this stream is happening. I think I'm back on YouTube on Wednesday this week as well. Let me just double check I haven't got that wrong. Yes, I will be on YouTube again this Wednesday. On Friday I am doing a one-off interview stream. That's me being interviewed, sorry, I should add that, not me interviewing. I don't know if that's on my channel and the interviewers, or we're going to do it on the interviewers only. I will come back and confirm, but that will be on Twitch one way or the other. And then we'll be back on Twitch on Sunday. So YouTube tonight, YouTube Wednesday, special interview on Friday, Twitch Sunday after. I am on call with work from Wednesday this week, so that will impact my time again this week, but hopefully things will clear after that. Talking of which, so the really good news is we are getting really close to the foundation having full-time staff. So you will have seen that Tim has announced he will be full-time from the 1st of November. Slightly hoping that's a bit ahead, we can get that ahead of schedule, to be determined. And we're currently dealing with a whole bunch of things that you would think would be simple, like I've applied for a bank account so we can pay our bills, and that's taken over a week now. Again, this is why cryptocurrency exists, isn't it? So what else is going on? So hopefully once we actually have that in place, so employment contracts are going through. So that's what I was talking about yesterday morning, where we got an initial quote to write up employment contracts and just set out things like if someone gets ill and needs to go to the doctor, how, who covers that, which is really important for the US employees. And the initial quote was very high, so we've gone back and, okay, well, let's change how we're doing that. So we're going to redraft the spec we're giving them and then get new employment contracts. Not technical, I'm aware it's a bit, but these are things that need to happen so that we actually have a functioning organisation. Mr. S asked, how is your health now? Was I tired recently? I've had a couple of tired nights. I'm still better is generally the thing. I am still quite tired by there being a pandemic and the just general not seeing people. But physically I'm fine. It is just, needing to get out, see people. And I'm working on it. Going into the office is definitely helping, actually. So I'm into the office Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday now. And that's actually really helping because I get to see four walls that aren't my own flat, which is nice. But it does make the Wednesday streams a bit tricky. Since the last one. Bruno says, I'm trying to download the wallet and I can't. My Windows Defender doesn't let me download it. I returned it off, made an exception to everything. When I download my PC, deletes it. Now, yes, I've heard a couple of reports about this. So I couldn't reproduce the problem. I'm on Windows 10 Professional. So I grabbed it from the main website. I ran it. It does warn me of a couple of things and says, hey, this is not a signed piece of software. We'll look at that in a second. But it doesn't delete it. If anyone with more Windows experience knows why, do let me know. If not, I would literally just Google for it. And I could do that now live on stream, but we could do that. But if anyone is a sysadmin for Windows and knows what's going on there, that would be brilliant, because I don't know why the software would just delete it unless there's some sort of policy set, like it's a work computer. I could imagine that, but that sounds like a personal computer, so that's been super confusing. Let's talk about the signing though, because that's come up in a discussion and I was asked about it recently. So yes, absolutely, one of the things we'd like the foundation to be able to do is sign code. So to sign the code, hang on, I'm just going to move this a little bit that way and get a little bit more arm. There we go. So one of the things we'd like to be able to do is have the foundation sign code, because to sign the code we need to get an extended verification certificate, I'm told, by other people who know these things. to do that, it has to be in someone or something's name. It can't be. It would be ridiculous to do my name. So what we want to do is have the foundation apply for it. But it's all stuck in this bootstrap process where everything is very slow moving. And again, we can't buy the certificate because we don't have a bank account. See my earlier statement about needing a bank account. You would think this would be simple, and you would be wrong. So David asks, would like an honest answer on the 1.14.4 update progress? What is the number or percentage of nodes that need to be updated in order to implement lower fees? So I think we've got enough nodes. For me, the big thing is just getting the other developers to say, yes, let's release this. Now, we've got a bug fix, which I'll talk about in 2 minutes. Let me just catch up with chat and I'll cover that bug fix. Yeah, I'm not going to touch on other tokens. There are plenty of other people who will, we'll be very happy to talk tokens, talk about pricing. I am not qualified to talk any of that stuff, and I'm very conscious I am not qualified to talk about it. So I'm just going to skip that one. Sorry for the people asking. I know it's important to you, it's important to me too, but there are others who will cover that for you. Thanks, Wicked Raw Crypto Girl, Tank Girl, who's complimenting the background. Mr. S says, is it possible to ban Shiba, the other token, I'm going to call them, for linking with Dogecoin? So I tend to mute any times they come up in my Twitter feeds. I'm not there to have people talk out other tokens in my Twitter feeds. In terms, we don't have a trademark on it, so we can't do anything in that sort of sense, if that's what you mean. Yeah, I mean, just generally we're trying to ignore them. And moving on swiftly, because it's not ignoring if I keep talking about it. So, someone asked about the foundation. So just to reiterate, Tim is going full-time, start of November, potentially earlier. We have another ops person going full-time on a similar timescale. And we have an engineer going full-time as soon as we can get the contracts sorted. So the target is sort of November for a lot of people just being started and getting momentum going. And we are going to have two engineering types and two ops types. One of the engineers is more of an architect, sort of product lead. One is more hands-on development, but both are very senior. And then stages past that are still a discussion, we have ideas and lots of things we want to do, but fundamentally it comes down to we don't want to go, we want to make out plans that would require 20 engineers and burn through our entire funding pot in 1 year if no one's going to fund them. But equally, if people go, this is great, let's throw millions of dollars at the foundation, great, we'll hire 20 more engineers and do things. Actually, engineers are super expensive, so it's a lot. Point is, we're working on it. Right, 1.14.5. So, we found someone else reported a bug last weekend where we had reduced the dust threshold that triggered for 1.14.5, and unfortunately what that meant is if you created a transaction below 1 Doge, spent the cent below 1 Doge, it could get stuck, basically. Now this didn't come up in testing because all the transactions I did were 1 Doge. It's 24 cents right now. You understand there wasn't really a desire to go below that number. But yeah, so we missed it in early testing. Someone else flagged it. Great. So I found what I thought was the problem on about Monday, and then haven't had any time to do anything with it since then. About 20 minutes before we went live, Patrick raised a pull request and said, hey, I think this fixes it. So we're going to look at it together. I'm hoping it does fix it. I'm hoping if it does fix it, I can then push the other devs and go, hey, we fixed the dependencies, we fixed the currency. Is there anything else we can just ship this? Because I want to see it shipped too. Because I think that's, there's been a lot of people, it moves fast. I think that's, to me, I hope that's good enough. But we'll have to see this fix. As I said, it came up 20 minutes before stream. I was putting a hat on and figure out this background. Don't touch the fourth wall. It messes with people. That's certainly the third wall, I suppose, isn't it? So that's the first thing we're going to do today. We touched on the foundation, and if we've got time after, we'll dive into 121. Cool. Great. Let's get to it. A quick So for Igor is asking how to update, it will simply be, presuming you're on Windows, you will download it from the regular site, you run the setup installer, it will drop a new binary over your existing one. You should back up your wallet before you do any of this, but it will basically be fine. You should back it up anyway. You stop the old one and start the new one, and it just keeps going. Like there's no data changes under there, it's just code. So you'll just replace one with the other. Someone asks, sender is showing unknown on Dogecoin core wallet. Why is it so? Binance don't tell us their addresses, so it doesn't know who that is. It just knows the address it came from, I think will be the answer. I don't tend to use Binance. I use Kraken, so I couldn't 100% swear to that. And I use a hardware wallet, which is also different. But I thought it just shows the address normally. A bit confused. I thought it arrived. In terms of the number of confirmations, that's always going to increase. The number of confirmations is the number of blocks that have occurred since that transaction happened. And it just indicates the certainty that nothing can change it. Like if you have 10 confirmations, it's quite hard to change. If you have 60, it's very, very hard to change. And that number is just an indication of the network health, basically. Alarizera says, I had to bring my tea. Did I bring any updates on 114.5? Good choice on the tea. I also have tea. We're just going to dive into a pull request, and I'm just going to do that now and stop talking to chat. So, sorry, not sorry for the bit where I'm not talking to you, but also let's jump into some code. There we go. Dogecoin pulls. So this is what Patrick has raised. Wow, that's a lot. I was not expecting it to be this complicated. Oh, I see. So he's got a new test added. That makes sense. Okay. Right. So, if anyone wants to look at this along with me, it is this one. Hey, Undead King Tez. Shamandu asks, would it be profitable for the miners with 100x fee reduction? So the idea is that we always subsidize the fees using the block reward. So it cuts the back for them, but they should still be making enough profit on the block reward to be valuable. And that's the motivation plan. Okay, so we've got several commits here. So he's introduced a new test to verify the problem we existed. That's good. So he's then split the dust limit into two limits. Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to check that test is correct, and that should then give us confidence in the rest of this. Yeah, okay, so Decouple wallet and Mempool dust policy. So Mempool is the set of transactions that have been created on the network but have not been put in a block yet. So this is basically saying, so there is transactions that you will issue and there's transactions we will accept. And what we're doing is splitting the two sections so that splitting the two sections such that we can reduce the requirements in one update and then change the default in the second one. Again, this is not going to make a big difference to anyone in a real scenario. Right, so that creates the test. It shows the soft dust didn't work at all. Transactions that should be rejected for providing too little fee are rejected for being dust. Okay. If you pay $1 million Doge fee, it would still be rejected. And that's not how the dust... Okay. As a facility to transaction outputs that checks dust against a fixed amount rather than a fee rate, because for Dogecoin dust has never been a rate. Fair. I think the only concern I have with this is how we're going to then simplify this back down again later. Is we're adding... We keep breaking the wallet and the validation side, and we need to at some point make them uniform again. Not go from a much too high hard limit to none at all. Okay. Okay, so he has a precursor that I'd missed. Okay. Okay, so this looks easier to review. Facilitate min change to higher than coin in tests. Okay. So some tests expect minimum change. Oh, let me also link this to you. Again, just going with this. Carlos, so we're mixing sites just to see how that works. Now at the moment I'm getting a lot fewer viewers on YouTube, but the idea is that once I get settled and established on YouTube, hopefully we'll see a more aggressive growth rate on YouTube. Also because I'm now working for Google, it's a little weird that I'm streaming on a competitor site, so that's a little bit the motivation there. Some tests expect minimum change to be less than or equal to coin, which is not the case as long as the network enforces a 1 Doge hard dust limit. Yeah. Multiply all inputs and queries by 10 for... yeah. Okay, that seems fair enough. So I'll check this out in and of itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to compile this. So this is building in the background. We can do an actual test of it while I review the code. So it's just 86 lines of code. That's not a lot. And we should be able to review that by hand quickly. And then by the time that's been reviewed, I should have the compiled version. We can run that, check the results, and go from there. Gen. Okay. I don't think that's actually an incompatible BDB anymore. So for so very long I've had to compile and said it can use any Berkeley DB version. We've actually now moved to 5.3, which is a fairly standard one, and it actually means I can make that simpler. Anyway, right, so that's running. Well, that works. So so immediately I'm kind of, what is this 3.9 doing? So this is fund raw transaction. No change output small. Okay, that's a... So what we're seeing here is he's changing these values so that the results don't have as much sort of wasted overhead. Change. And that just makes the numbers easier for the next series of tests. Okay, she's creating 20 of those? Interesting. So this is just, he's just scaled this up by 100, yeah, 100, that's fine, that's nice and simple. Yeah, because these are all values that make sense in a sort of Bitcoin scale, but not a Dogecoin scales. And then this is just going 10x, so all the numbers go 10 bigger. Yep, 30, 30, 50, 100, 200. Yep. 380, yep, 370. That's 3. Okay, 370, 370, 370, 380 again, 380, 380. 1020, 200, 240, 350, 342, yep. 125, 110. Yeah, that looks real good. 1, 2, 5, 8, 8, yep. 60, 70, 80, 200, 300, 60, 70. Oh, I see, it's off by 1 error. Yeah, change. 160, 200, 200. Yeah, that's fine. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 200, 300, 750. That's fine. 760, 50, 60, 160, 180. 100, that's fine. Let's catch up on Cat a second. What do you think? Yeah. I mean, that's down to Tesla, is the answer on them accepting. Hopefully, we will at some point. Windows shows the unrecognized software error when you run the Dogecoin setup. Is this an issue? It's not great, and it is something we want to get an extended validation certificate and be able to sign so it will know where the software came from. That's what it's basically saying. It's not a problem for you. It's just not ideal, but it is something we're conscious of. Justin asks, do you agree with Patrick's conservative view the network is not ready for 14.5 default fee changes? I think that, I mean, my view is like, I would like to push it, and I know it will be bumpy but I don't think we're going to get transactions stuck, just a bit slow. That said, we shouldn't push it until the Foundation is in a position to be able to assist with anyone that does get transactions stuck. So I think part of the reservations comes from 1.14.0, which did have transactions getting stuck because of differences between 1.10 and 1.14. And obviously it would be unfair for me to say, yeah, let's push this ahead, and then expect others to pick up if any problems. So we need the Foundation to be in a position to catch that work if there is any work. I don't think it's going to be a problem, but we need to have that core team in position if I'm pushing it ahead. Equally, if Patrick goes, oh, this is good, let's go, then great, let's just go. Otherwise, I think, yeah, it's going down to the Foundation being able to push it themselves and say, we will stand behind this. Haven't told the Foundation this, by the way. Oops. I think this is all good. Yep, that looks good. Right, source Qt, Dogecoin Qt, testnet. Because nothing says this like... I suppose none of this actually changes code. So there is nothing... Oh, no, there is a test to run. Okay, that's good. Source tests. So that launches, that's good. Mr. S asks about the donation to the Hack Club. So Hack Club, that from my perspective, that's good because it is supporting young minds, it is encouraging the next set of developers, and we're hoping that they will have the time and energy to contribute code to us. You'll have seen Ishan on my stream a couple of times already, and the hope is that we can have them help build the tools that we use. So it is something because it builds the whole engineering ecosystem. It makes software development better as a whole. Does that make sense? So a couple of interesting questions rolling in. So someone whose name I'm probably about to mispronounce, however I pronounce this, but I want to say John or Jean asks, can you explain what the difference from a token and a cryptocurrency is? So a token, I would suggest, is a subset of cryptocurrency. So cryptocurrency is the funny thing is they're not really currencies anymore. They've now become something that exists in a decentralized way and is typically... I think really they're just something that exists in a decentralized platform. Because the introduction of NFTs kind of ruins the whole fungibility. A token specifically, I think, is... I don't know if anyone's actually defined these terms, so these are my definitions. A cryptocurrency in this one, like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ether, where it is designed you can pay for it, pay with it. A token is often something like, I think like Uniswap, where the token, you aren't going to go into a shop and buy your coffee with Uniswap tokens. That would be bizarre. So they much more represent something that, is perhaps almost a share. I don't want to use the term share for specific reasons, but it's almost a portion of something. It gives you a degree of control. It may work with a DAO, or it can be an NFT, like a CryptoKitty. So typically cryptocurrency is something that exists on a blockchain. I suppose it's difficult to draw a hard line between the two, because I don't know there is really a strong difference. I've kind of rambled for a bit. I don't know if I've come to a conclusion. I think the conclusion in hindsight is a blockchain can contain a cryptocurrency or a token, and a token can be an NFT as a non-fungible token, whereas a cryptocurrency is always fungible. So I think I retract my initial statement that one is a subclass of the other, actually. I think they both exist on blockchains. But yeah, typically a token exists on a smart contract platform, which is what I was thinking of. But I don't realize there's no reason they have to. I don't know if I helped anyone. Right, so there's no actual code changes to this. So there's nothing to test here. But these tests I've just run look good, so that's good. So I'm going to approve this. And then we're going to look at this in a second. William Oliver says, what is your opinion on us moving forward, and where do you see us a year from now? Year from now is a better one, actually, because I think as the foundation gets going, what do I want the foundation to be doing initially? So getting a release process, getting the ability to draw timelines is a massive thing. I know everyone's talking about the roadmap. There are sort of estimated roadmaps, but we don't know what our capacity is yet. So a lot of what we're going to be having is an actual release schedule, the ability to say, right, we're committing to this date to ship something, and be able to update as things, make it to that date or slip from that date and what's going on, and do resource planning. That's going to be huge. I really hope that we will start having better wallets. So there are third-party wallets that we haven't previously engaged with and boosted them. One of the big things the fee logic simplification gives us, which is this all bringing in, is the third-party wallets will support our fee scheme better because it's just more like Bitcoin. Once they do that, we can then get them to do mobile wallets that are better than the one we've been using for an extended period, for example. So that's a big thing. Better wallets, better user experience, more engagement, like having a consistent messaging rate, having consistent resourcing so we know we can commit to things, I think is the big differences. I know Tim really wants us to have more standardized APIs, easier to integrate with tooling, but I'll leave him to talk about that, so I don't want to touch too much on other people's plans. Thanks, Wicked Raw Crypto Tank Girl. Someone whose name I'm not entirely certain which bits to. I think it's Cali Style. Oh yeah, Cali Style for Life OG. So I wasn't sure where to put the spaces in that. It says, I'm part of Doge Node support on Twitter. Let me drag this over so I'm not staring to the left. Is anyone the light wallet for iOS? So we don't have any iOS development capacity right now, no. We are aware of the demand for it. In the short to mid-term, I suspect we will look to third-party providers to cover that. And then depending on what funding the foundation gets, we would potentially they could look to hire iOS developers. I know in particular there's demand for a Dogecoin only wallets, although there will be good solutions that third parties provide. People want to have a Dogecoin only node wallet. Sorry. Undead King Taze asks, has Mitchy mentioned doing an AMA to you or the foundation yet? So the streamer I'm being interviewed by on Friday, Soma Green, you'll see her on my stream before, does definitely want to do a whole series with the entire foundation. That's down to their personal ability to commit time, which is very, very limited for Mitchy right now. John, I'm sorry, I keep pronouncing your name terribly. I'm really not certain which way I'm doing it wrong. It's several different wrong ways. But says, does the creator owns all the tokens from the start? Right. So, in virtually every scenario, yes, but I think there's some interesting research in doing it different ways. For example, I don't think there is any... So I've just seen a response from Patrick, by the way, so we'll come back in a second. I don't think there's any technical reason that you couldn't issue a new token to people based on their existing Ethereum holdings, if you wanted to. Equally, basically just airdrop to Ethereum holders. You could do that. It's an unusual one, but you could do it. What else could you do? I've looked actually at having a token where if you are the miner for a Ethereum block, you can claim a one-off reward. So it sort of airdrops to the miners. So functionally, all of them, they create the supply and then give it to something. Some of them might send it to an unrecoverable address that's used solely for Uniswap seeding, or something like that. But they do have to go somewhere. But the equivalent for a cryptocurrency is that the initial creators control who mines it, how you mine it and the rules around that. The fact that there is typical that the miners get all of the reward doesn't mean it has to be. One way that people have previously suggested, and we're not doing this, but they've suggested it, is introducing a per block reward to the foundation. So we could do that. I don't think it would go down very well if we tried it. I don't think that fork would succeed. But there are different models. And again, it's just typical versus what you could theoretically do. RBL Darkside asks, any updates on the Doge and Ethereum bridge? I haven't heard anything from Oscar recently. He did say about a month ago now, so I'm hoping we'll get another update in a bit. I might give him a ping after this. Hi, Zach. Cool. Let's go see what Patrick said. That is the streaming window, not my actual VM. No, that's not my VM either. That's my VM. There we go. Oh. Okay. I just swore I saw an email coming in from him. Hang on. Alright, request a review on the second part. That's what's happened. Okay, cool. Let me pull that over there so I can see chat. Right, fetch origin. No, upstream, my bad. Freebase, git check out 1.14.5. Check. So this is test, functional, nope. What's the name of the thing? QA, that's it. I'm thinking of the 114, 121 ones. So yeah, so a Koinu is the equivalent of a Satoshi on Bitcoin. In most cases, we have remembered to update the words Satoshi to Koinu, but you might see it in comments. Oh, actually I want my own one, not... So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the numbers. Actually, better plan. Rather than looking at my numbers, we'll look at what the numbers were. Bitcoin when we branch this. So this is 0.14.3. It's QA. RPC tests, and we are looking at fund vault transaction, and then this is around line 504. So that's weird. Oh, I see. No, it's doing that right. Okay. This is where I'm not saying it's been a long day, but I can't remember how to do math anymore. Cool. Let's pour more tea if anyone's wondering what the heck that noise was. Yeah, I think there's an expectation. Well, I need to say this very carefully. So I think I like to hope Elon has someone who watches these streams for him, but I know there's a feeling he watches them, and I don't think he has that much time. But I hope someone reports back to him and says, "Hey, yeah, this is what they're up to." Because these exist to tell everyone what we're up to and what's going on. So I think that would be healthy. Okay, so that's interesting. So it does in fact break. So it's sending, okay. See, I don't think with the... Actually, I might have to look at the output and see what the fee we're paying on this is. I've also kind of assumed that is right. Okay. And then I think the same trick happens below. So it's 0.15 and 0.04, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm creating the transaction again, and then we're going to print the transaction out. Hopefully this will crash, because I want to refine these numbers to get exactly the right amount of fee on them. I'm realizing, however, I've made a bit of a mistake. I've printed the transaction, not the decoded transaction. So that will need to happen. Oh, did I just... Okay. 558. Okay, it looks like it's actually only failing on my debugging logic. Yeah, okay. Carlos asks, did you decide where you're relocating to? So I'm not relocating in the imminent term. I am seriously considering the US in the next year. That will depend on work opportunities, logistics around all sorts of things. So there's kind of, I'm expecting that there will be more opportunities for me in the US in the next year, but those opportunities have to arise for me to then be able to apply for visas around them and therefore go for them. Does that make sense? John asks, do you think it would be possible to buy and sell NFTs with Doge after the Doge Ethereum bridge? I'm hoping that we will find ways to do it before the NFT bridge. I know people are interested in that. I know there's definitely third parties who want to work on that. I'd love to see. So I think you can do it with a cross-chain atomic swap today, although that would be fiddly. But I'm hoping we'll see marketplaces that will accept Dogecoin and give you the NFT, even if they have to do the payment conversion themselves. But the bridge would definitely make it simpler, because you would be able to take Dogecoin on the Dogecoin blockchain, move it to the Ethereum blockchain, and then have a token you can pay for things on Ethereum with. So that would be one of the potential upsides, yeah. Okay. So we're just going to... I think this is as good as it's going to be. It doesn't really make a big difference, but yeah. Update to Bitcoin originals. This revises the logic for transaction PI to use the 20 small bits generated in the next as inputs to the next transaction. This matches how the original looked. See. Oh, I need a line number on that. What have I done and how? Oh, I'm not in VI, is how I've done that. Git log, push origin. Okay. Right, that's simple enough. I'll come back to these tests in a second, because this one's the bulky one that we care about and what's going on in this. Test relay Mempool acceptance policies and P2P exception. Okay. he's created a whole test node for this? Create roll transaction. Yeah, I think Snoop Doge is exactly right. Like, it is... There's no good option on how you talk about this stuff, and you have to be very careful. And I think that's kind of where we are at the moment. Stephen asks, what state in the US would you like to live in? Probably because of work, I would head towards California. But again, it will depend on work more than anything else. Because like I need to be able to get a visa into the US, and that will depend. So wherever I can get an opportunity, I'll go to where that job is, and then rebalance the rest from there. Like, it's all just working out one step at a time, one foot in front of the other, as it were. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I wasn't just going crazy. Target output. Self-run relay test. Okay. So I think the logic of how this works is right. I'm just concerned about the numbers we're putting into this and whether those are right. So this is just a conventional transaction. This is one that's too low. This is something that exactly hits the soft dust limit, but the soft dust limit oh great, I've lost the soft dust limit. 0.01. See, that's the concern, is I don't know that this actually makes it. Okay, I think the answer is we're just going to have to manually test this. Detailed PR checkout 2606, cool. Yeah, so this is quite an intense one to review. It looks like what I'm going to have to do is spin up a couple of nodes to run this on. Let's do that. So what I'm just doing, and you can't see this, apologies for doing stuff you can't see, but I don't really want to open things that have my credit card anywhere near the stream. What I'm just going to do is I'm going to launch a few AWS nodes. EC2. So we need to have one that sends, one that relays, and one that mines. Is that right? Yeah, I think that's right. So we can get away with 2 of these, and then my computer will be the one that actually sends. Right, so what we're doing is we're launching 2 new nodes. Just going to wait for those to spin up. Oh, AWS has slowed down. I'm also conscious that I really should move all my development over to Google Cloud, but I keep needing to actually get that set up, and I haven't. Yeah, I mean, if people are... Yeah, it's a good point about other tokens, and maybe just sort of flagging that. Yeah, I'll see if I can get that relay back and say, hey, you know, you may want to say, you know, this is not the intent, because I think people are, you know, misleading about what some of Elon's intents are, as I understand it. All right, as my nodes come up, yes, we've got 2 nodes. We go. Oh no, that's the instances. There we go. Come on. That's the first one. Yes. So yes, you could probably inconvenience a node I'm running, but I'm going to burn them at the end of the stream, so I don't really care. So these are new images, new nodes that we're just setting up. So the first thing I need to do is create space to write the blockchain 2. Nope. FD and I'll just take a couple of seconds to sync, and then source Dogecoin D. Oops, that's a big source. Copy the address in again. Oop, that's copied it to a file, not to the actual directory. There we go. One's done. Cool. We just need some copy files to actually run. That will take a second. Seeing more messages coming in. I'm a little concerned this is probably breaking the stream horrifically. Are you guys still there? Because I'm realizing I'm trying to upload a 100 meg binary and also run stream simultaneously, and that could be quite exciting. Okay, well while that starts up, we can have this sync itself. Yeah, that'll do. Dogecoin D, daemon, data equals Dogecoin, testnet. And that will be syncing. You know what, I'm going to make a third one actually, because then I can be doing other things while this test runs. Actually no, I'm not. I am decisive tonight. I'm really not decisive tonight. 50%, 1 minute 48 to go. Starting to entertain you for 1 minute 48. I hope I'm entertaining you for 1 minute 48. I'll tell you what, while we are talking about this, why don't I relay this over to the Foundation and they can be discussing while I work. Oop, that was not the right one. I cut it rather than cropping it, so I lost everything but the bit I wanted. Okay, 32 seconds to go. I think the quality on the screen is bad because I'm uploading a file to a remote server. Sorry. It's the problem with having to upload a test to the remote system is that it takes the same bandwidth as I would be running my computer, everything else on. We'll be done in 4 seconds and then we'll be there. 3, 2, 1. Come on, come on. Yes, there we go. Right. Dogecoin D, and then the other one is called EC2. Cool. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stop this. Just checking the version we're running. Cool, that is 145, that's great. Okay, so these two probably are talking to each other. I should make sure they actually talk to each other. Also, can I run a miner? Ls start sh. Okay, so one of these needs to be running a miner, which unfortunately means I need to go off screen a second while I set that up. So let's pull this up, I will be right back. So I'm just putting the username and password in while they're off screen. I won't be long. Password equals RTC equals testnet equals 1. I'm just waiting for that to start running. Shouldn't be long now. Cool, that is now mining. Clearing that. If I don't go back a screen, that'll be fine. Cool, right, that is running a miner. So this one we want to connect to. So there we go, source qt, Dogecoin qt, testnet, connect equals there. So what we're doing... What? Well, that was interesting. Hey, this is where we test. Okay, so I don't know what happened to that, but that was really, really fatal. No, that's really... I'm realizing, rather than looking at this on the code, why don't I look here? So that looks fine. Get on, yep. So this is interesting because it's erroring fatally, like very fatally, while trying to debug, which makes it very difficult to run in any useful way to find out what's happened. It's just telling me it's broken. I get that it's broken. I want to know where it did break. Okay, so let's try that locally and see if is that going to fail. So I'm wondering if it's that my files locally have become damaged, in which case the daemon will also fail, or that it's something specific to the graphical client, in which case this will fail, this will succeed, at least we know which side it's in. Manually reviewing the errors that are likely to occur, I can't see any problems. I don't want to spend the time to recompile this with debugging enabled, but I might have to. Okay. So it looks like it's specifically something when we run the graphical version. The concern I've got, %s, default %s, yeah, format running. Yeah, makes sense, okay. %s there, %s there. We've got, that's the input, that's the second input. Should be fine. %s, %s. So that's the thing, is the only things I can see that add a new print have all of the required parameters, so I can't see why this would fail. Okay, so it is definitely something in the graphical version. It's definitely something in the graphical version. Okay, let's complete the test we were going to. No, we can't do that either. Okay, source, Dogecoin, Cli, testnet, get blockchain info. Okay, so that has started correctly at least. Okay. Does anyone remember how you do debugging options? So I'm using a CPU miner, Georgie, just for testnet testing, so it's just very low power to build the network. I don't actually run my own mainnet miner. Living in the UK, it's too expensive to, the power is crazy expensive basically. Abhishek asks, any use case where we have Dogecoin involvement? I mean, the main thing beyond just the fees is we're trying to be a friendly cryptocurrency. We're trying to be the one that people want to use, that are welcoming to new people, that is friendly, and people go, oh yeah, I had a good and positive experience with that. And I think that's something else that, like, certainly early days cryptocurrency was very aggressive to newcomers, and I think that impacts its adoption. Dogecoin is there to to be friendly and easy to use, and that's its motivation. It's all beyond the fees, obviously. Okay, so this works. Help. Does this work? Okay. So something is wrong when running init.cpp. That's okay. That's good to know. Yeah. It still doesn't tell me where. Okay. GCC options environment variable. Thank you. GNU configure. So I know there's an environment variable for this. GNU configure CXX options. Is that right? Oh, CXX flags, there we go. Figure. So what we're going to do is we're going to recompile with -G, which is enabled debugging. And that should let us get more detail on what's going on. Ah, there we go. Perfect. So that's running. Yeah, because something's definitely breaking when this tries running. That's still just re-indexing merrily. Okay. Dogecoin test tail debug. Yeah. Okay. So that will be going for a while. I'll probably leave that running tonight. In fact. Hey Andreas, how you doing? Yeah, so the problem we've got is something in this change has caused the Qt client to fail to load. There's nothing wrong, visually wrong in the code. So it's definitely something goes wrong in initialization when running with the graphical client. It appears, however, you can create the same problem with the daemon. So the headless client. What I'm doing is I'm running with additional debugging enabled to make it easier to run a debugging tool over this. At the moment, if I run the debugging tool, it tells me it crashes, but it doesn't tell me where it crashed. It just panics. So I'm hoping to get a bit more detail and be able to do something with the output. Close that. That's quite barely running. Div head -6 or grep -printf. See, I reckon Seen it. I think. I think that's it. I think I fixed it. We'll just wait for the compilation to finish. Or refinish. And then that should run. Okay, so it doesn't fail anymore, which is good. Qt, Dogecoin, Qt, testnet, and then what was the node that I was using? There we go. Connect equals there. There we go. Fix one problem. Cool. Gonna mark these done where they are done. Bump fee. Yeah. Cool, so that's connecting. Rewinding blocks now. Oh, it's probably slowed because it's re-indexing 2 of them. May have just melted my computer. Yeah. And this is running, yeah, that's cool. Dogecoin apply, get blockchain info. Oops. Testnet data equals Dogecoin. Cool, that's up. Get address. Get new address? Get new address. Oh, it's just going to point blank refuse to... What? Is it going to refuse to do anything? After all that? What? Oh, it just doesn't like it. Okay. Two, one, yes. Okay, so at least that works. So it looks like the user interface is going to be a bit grumpy at me, and I have to do it on the command line, but that's fine. That's why we test stuff. Shut this down. Source Dogecoin. Stop. can get that re-index done later, thank you. Send to address. Okay, I need to wait for this to actually finish. Hi, the science. Yeah, we're fixing some problems with 1.14.5. So we had a report. The dust limit didn't work correctly. Patrick's got part of a fix for that. I'm just testing Patrick's fix. We've got one bit of feedback on it so far. Actually, Patrick's I've just seen a response to my initial one. Oh, that's not it. This one. Change requested. Okay, so that needs to be modified to fit the next stage. Can do. Okay. Okay, so this is just saying the transaction amount is now too small. Okay. Okay, so that's what's happening. Well, first of all, I need to actually forcibly connect to only my test node, not just random nodes. Oh, I did actually. I wasn't crazy. Discard. What was it? Discard threshold. I think fundamentally I may have misunderstood what Patrick's change does actually, which would also be fine. Let me just load. Okay, so let me just get back over what Patrick's doing here. Okay, yeah, so this has a policy and a minimum, so it's just saying that you can't send less than 0.1, so 1.0 by default, but we're going to come on, load already. There we go. Really? Are we still going? Oh, unfortunately it's a massive wallet. There we go. Cool. That is actually trying to send to an address now. Oh! So the question is, does the recipient system get it? Coin, get, transaction. No. Brilliant. And as soon as this one mines it, it should show up successfully. Wow, it's taking a while to actually get into a block, or a while to get a block, is what I mean. Hi there, Real Nick Rolls. Good to see you. Thanks. We're almost done for tonight, I think. We're just going to get this test running, do a little bit of cleanup. I think if this works, we're good to merge Patrick Exchange, and then... Yeah, so Patrick Exchange goes in, then I'm going to tweak my change because it just improves the state of a test. Oh, there we go. That's now in. Confirmations 1. Brilliant. Okay. So that's what we're looking for. That's confirmed. It has mined it successfully. We can then see that. If I go to the Dogecoin testnet. Oops, that's still the wrong thing. Try that one again. There we go. Without paste. Probably having 2 clipboards, but there we go. That's the transaction I've been trying to build for the next the last few hours. It is there. I dread to think how often a day I type Dogecoin or Dogecoin Foundation or a dozen other Dogecoin related things. Let us never think of that. Stop. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to burn both of these. We don't need them anymore. And then once that comes back up again, I'm just going to do one last little check. So I really want to see the graphical client work again, just before I sign off on it. And then I'll eat more tea. I didn't actually have a BlackBerry, no. I went Nokia. Yeah, I went through a number of Nokias. I actually had one of the old, was it Sony Ericsson? Is that right? Back when there were candy bar phones, when that was a thing. Wow. Sony Ericsson, and then went to an iPhone. Fell out with Apple when they released an update that they didn't have the servers to support the phone unlocking afterwards, because I didn't mind. I objected to the fact that it was not just didn't have enough servers, but it was not enough servers for their DRM solution. Like, it's kind of, if I've paid physically for a device and you're stopping me to using it for your benefit, that really annoyed me. So I moved to Android and never looked back. Also now working for Google, so I probably, now we do have iPhone users in the office in hindsight, so it's not, but Well, the little questions are a little bit, actually a lot of what this stream is here for. Like, I can code offline. That's not, that there's not a lot of difference between me coding online and coding offline. Some people do follow what I'm doing, and that's great, but I know that a lot of people don't. The questions are kind of what makes this a stream rather than... Why is that? Oh, I think it's just loading all the different transactions. So I've been using this wallet, this is what's happened, for stress testing, and it's a bit of a mess. I might need to clean that one out, I think, is the answer there. But it works, that is good. So we will check that out, check out there. Oops, stash. That's running. So QA, pull RPC to RPC, yes. Fund raw transactions. 510. Right, while that runs, is it worth me getting more tea? It's probably not. Right, let's hop onto camera while that runs anyway. Okay, so I was hoping to jump into 121 tonight. We haven't. The state of 121 is that I've started raising pull requests with little bits against my own my own repository, because there's big stuff waiting on review, but there's also steps past that, and I want we can sort of do an iterative process. So the idea is the really painful one, someone has to sit down for like 3 days and review it. It's gonna suck, and then everyone's tied up with 114.5. But I have most of the work past that already, but it needs review. It needs someone checking it, and we do find bugs in this. So I have been finding and fixing bugs in 121. So the idea here is that I can get a faster review cycle on the bits past that big hurdle, so that once we're past the hurdle, the next stages go faster. So that's hopefully going to happen soon. I'm kind of hoping to get the foundation on top of it once they actually launch. So that's the state of 121. There are bugs we are fixing. So yeah, the fee logic is getting completely rebuilt. Something else we need to discuss is how we are going to tackle 121 and its launch, and are we going to make sure it's 100% backwards compatible with 114, which is the existing premise, or are we going to say, look, it has to be compatible enough for people to upgrade, but we push for a super majority of 121, and if it starts kicking old nodes off the network, that's not the end of the world. The latter is my preference, because I think it is such a leap forward that we want to just push everyone ahead. But I need other people to back that decision before we can't just unilaterally make it. So it wouldn't be a hard fork in a conventional sense, but we would be saying to everyone, you have to upgrade at some point, and we can't guarantee long-term backwards compatibility. That's what I want to push for. As it wouldn't be a fork, because nothing should fork, but we would be pushing everyone to upgrade. And then 121 is a complete rebuild, as we've talked about before. So it, all of these things that, there's lots of things I've learned in like 4 or 5 years of experience, and they've just gone back and redone the whole thing. And I think it'll be much better engineered, much better thought out under the hood, and will act as a stable platform for the next few years. Again, this is why I want to go, right, this is going to draw a nice clear line here. So like if anyone does come along with 110 in 5 years time, will it work? Probably. But we are going to really push everyone to 121. I want to really push everyone to 121. I can't say this unilaterally. Let's see how the code is doing. It has built. Good. I'm glad. And then this is just QA. Oh, no, QA. RPC tester, RPC tests. Oh, no, okay, fine. Oh, I see. Pull tester. Pull tester. Let's try that. Kat asks, why is your UI green? So the user interface is green if I'm on the test network, and that's done as a safety measure so I don't mix up the test and production networks, so that I don't accidentally send real money over the network if I don't mean to. And the test network, I can have like hundreds of, and I actually have vastly more than that in test Dogecoin, but they're basically worthless, upside downside. Right. Okay, so it works. Git add QA RPC tests, commit, and then S. Okay. I think Patrick has actually fixed the thing I've asked him to already. That's good. Okay. Okay. I think that's it. Okay, cool. I'm going to call it there. We've got 5 minutes technically still left over. I'll actually do some questions in 5 minutes. Vivian Mort says, I'm curious about a second layer. Well, let me move you over here so I'm not talking into a wall. I'm curious about a second layer. I vaguely remember something being said about the exchanges themselves potentially fitting that role. Is that a thing? And if so, could you elaborate? So, for example, on Coinbase, I believe if you... So, all this is hypothetical. I don't have a Coinbase debit card to verify this with, but I believe you can now get a debit card from Coinbase. If you then spend on that debit card with Dogecoin, that transaction doesn't occur on the Dogecoin blockchain. It just occurs within Coinbase's internal accounting. So they are acting as a layer 2. Yes, that would be that scenario. Talking of layer 2s, I'm actually super excited to see TikTok using layer 2s natively for their NFTs. So I can't remember the name of the company. Let me just quickly look. TikTok NFT. Because the announcement, there we go. Yeah, because they're using Immutable X. And I think this is really interesting because one of the problems that NFTs, and particularly layer 2 NFTs has been motivating people to get into them. TikTok is big enough to get people engaging with it, I think. And if we can show people, look, you can have the same security, cryptographically provably, but for a fraction of the price, by basically sharing a transaction with lots of other NFTs, I think that's really valuable. One of the things, talking about NFTs, that I don't get that excited by like a $10,000 NFT, unless it's paying me, in which case I do. But as a use case, oh my goodness, the rich can buy rich things. That's great. But a $1 NFT, and you've got my interest. Because I'm much more excited by the idea that I could give out a little $1 a time to mint it NFT each stream. Like I could do a giveaway, and there's you go, hey guys, end of stream, let's do an NFT. This is a hypothetical, and just give one away. That'd be great. At the moment, they're like $50, $100 to mint, so I can't do that cost effectively. If they're $1 to mint, if they're 10 cents to mint, I don't know. I could do that. And I can work with the artist I work with and say, look, I'm going to mint 40 of these, enough to cover 52, cover a year. And I'm going to pay you, well, I pay them anyway, so I'll pay them a little bit extra, but it's all cost effective. And that's the sort of thing where I think NFTs could really get exciting. But yeah, I've got very distracted on layer 2. But going back to the original point, I think it is going to be big companies using layer 2 will drive adoption because it's out there and it works, but it needs that sort of push to be adopted. Alright, I am going to wind down for the night, possibly get some more tea. I hope you've had fun. I will be back on Wednesday on YouTube again. I will announce the stream when I've had time to actually set it up. That will probably be about 7:30, 8ish. I might say 7:45 because I need to actually get home from work and I'm on call until 6 p.m. So I need to have plenty of time to deal with anything that goes wrong. I might actually just work from home this week given on call. We'll see how it goes. And then Friday, I am being interviewed by Soma Green. I will confirm whether I'm streaming that time. I'm going to talk to her, basically. But definitely I'll appear at least on one stream, possibly both. And then I'll be back on Twitch on Sunday next week. I'm actually keeping a balance on the two, see how that goes. Have a great night, and I will see you all on Wednesday. Thanks for coming.